Are you ready or not to take a dive onto the top 10 mysteriously disappeared ships? Of course you are. So, let's get into it. Number 10, the Patriot. It is known that the ship left dock and sailed north, but what happened after that is a mystery. It never arrived in New York, and no trace of the ship or crew was ever found. A number of theories and legends have sprung up. Some claim the ship was attacked by pirates and that crew was forced to walk the plank, while others suggest that the crew got caught up in the War of 1812 and was sunk accidentally by an enemy ship. Perhaps most fanciful of all is the story put forward by locals, who claimed that they rescued a woman who had washed up on shore after a shipwreck. Whatever the story, it is likely that after more than 200 years we shall never know the real fate of the Patriot, the ship. Number 9, the Merchant Royal. The Merchant Royal was tasked with taking treasures from the New World to Spain under the command of one Captain John Lembury. In 1641, the ship was loaded with 100,000 pounds of gold, 400 bars of Mexican silver, and a huge number of precious jewels. As the ship entered the English waters, the weather turned bad, but unfortunately the pumps on board the ship broke and it began to take on water. Its sister ship, the Dover Merchant, with whom it had been sailing in tandem, came to the rescue of the captain and crew but were unable to take any of the cargo. The ship disappeared beneath the waves, somewhere off the coast of Land's End. Number 8, USS Cyclops. The USS Cyclops was a huge steel-hulled fuel ship, tasked with carrying coal and other useful supplies for the U.S. Navy in the 1910s. On her final journey, the Cyclops set sail from Rio de Janeiro with a full load of 10,800 tons of manganese ore and over 300 people on board. On March 4, 1918, the ship was spotted for the last time as it left Barbados and sailed into what we now sometimes call the Bermuda Triangle. The ship seemingly disappeared without a trace, and the case has been seen as especially mysterious since no distress call was made and no bad weather was reported in the region. Theories began to surface, some more imaginative than others, that the ship had been sunk by the Germans, attacked by a giant squid or octopus, or been victim of a violent mutiny. A very huge search for the Cyclops was launched with a number of boats and planes scouring the area for debris or survivors, but nothing of the enormous ship was ever seen again. Number 7, the Witchcraft. On December 22, 1967, the Witchcraft ship set to see the holiday lights off the coast of Miami. Unfortunately, after just 1 mile the ship experienced difficulty when it seemed as if the ship had hit something. People calmly called the Miami Coast Guard to report the trouble and request assistance. The Coast Guard arrived at the scene just 19 minutes after the call and were surprised to find no trace of the large ship, no debris, and no sign of people. Over the next 6 days, hundreds of square miles of ocean were searched, but nothing was ever found, and the Witchcraft has been chalked up as another vessel mysteriously lost to the Bermuda Triangle. Number 6, Andrea Gail. The Andrea Gail was a 72-foot-long liner boat that fished in the North Atlantic for swordfish. In September 1991, the ship, along with several other fishing vessels, set sail from Gloucester, Massachusetts for the last fishing session of the season. By October, the Andrea Gail and its 6-man crew was out off the coast of Newfoundland when the confluence of terrible weather fronts conspired to create what has been dubbed the perfect storm. The massively powerful winds were whipping waves as high as 100 feet, and any ship caught in their path faced being sucked into the wave and flipped over repeatedly. The devastating storm battered the coast of New England and Canada, and after the worst of it had passed and the Andrea Gail had failed to return to port, a number of rescue missions set out to find the ship, but nothing was ever found. The story of the storm and the imagined fate of the Andrea Gail and her crew was later told in the book The Perfect Storm by Sebastian Junger, as well as a Hollywood movie of the same name. Number 5, the USS Porpoise. USS Porpoise was a brig involved in 19th century exploration and surveying missions, taking part in a voyage in 1838 that confirmed the existence of Antarctica and later circumnavigating the globe. In 1854, the ship set sail from Hong Kong carrying 69 men in order to carry out a survey of the South Sea Islands. Somewhere between China and Taiwan, the ship sailed into dense fog and was separated from its partnership, the USS Vincennes, and never seen again. Many ships searched for the ill-fated brig for over a year, but no sign was ever found, and it's thought to have been wrecked in a typhoon with all hands lost. Number 4. HMS Sappho. Over the course of a 20-year career, the British Navy ship HMS Sappho worked to suppress the slave trade off the coast of West Africa, intercepting a number of ships loaded with slaves and freeing hundreds of people. In 1857, after wrongly chasing down and boarding an American ship, an event that caused something of a diplomatic crisis between America and Great Britain, the ship was ordered to set sail to Australia. The Sappho reached Cape Town without incident, and from there headed toward the Bass Strait, where it was last spotted by a passing brig on February 18, 1878. Bad weather was reported in the area, and it has been assumed that high winds caused the ship to founder and sink. No sign of the 147 crew members was ever found, but rumors abounded that the captain, a person, had somehow escaped the wreck and made it to an island off Australia, where he was said to have lost his mind. Number 3. Piper Navajo. On November 3, 1978, Piper Navajo was piloting for Eastern Caribbean Airways. The experienced pilot was making a solo flight to position the plane to pick up passengers. Visibility was good and temperatures were warm. During the flight, the control tower operator radioed a flight suggestion to avoid a small shower, and Rivers radioed his acknowledgement and made the adjustment. As he neared the airport, the plane was cleared for landing, and the controllers saw the plane's red and green lights blinking as it made the approach. Soon after another plane made a planned departure, the controller found he could no longer see the plane's lights. It had disappeared from the radar. An emergency search effort was launched, but nothing was ever found, even though the flight was only 1 mile from landing. Number 2. Beichimo, Arctic Ghost Ship. The SS Beichimo started life as a German trading vessel before being given to Great Britain after World War I as part of reparations. The Beichimo came under the ownership of the Hudson Bay Company and made many voyages across the Atlantic from Scotland to Canada to trade with local Inuit tribes. In 1931, while journeying to Vancouver with a cargo of furs, the Beichimo fell victim to an early winter as ice floes surrounded the ship and locked it in an icy embrace. The crew escaped the stricken vessel and fled across the ice floes to safety, but some returned a few days later to try to rescue the ship and its valuable cargo. The captain decided the ship was too badly damaged to be seaworthy and so abandoned it, thinking it would soon break apart. How wrong he was. Over the years, the Beichimo was sighted a number of times, sometimes caught fast in ice, other times floating ghost-like through the Arctic waters. The last confirmed sighting was in 1969, an astonishing 37 years after it had been abandoned to its fate. Number 1. The Octavius. The Octavius became more than just a legend back in 1775 when a whaling ship named the Herald found it aimlessly drifting off the coast of Greenland with all of its crew frozen dead by the Arctic cold. To add to the spooky environment, the ship's captain was found sitting at his desk with a logbook in front of him and finishing a log entry from 1762. Relating to this could mean that the Octavius had been floating for 13 years and completed its passage to the Atlantic while returning to England from the Orient via the Northwest Passage as a ghost ship. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you haven't already, then don't forget to subscribe and press that like button. Also hit the bell icon so you could never miss new updates from us. Stay safe, and we will meet you in the next one.